National Running Show, day 2. We are parking up after a morning run with the running channel and are going to go check out a few more of the stalls, go and say hello to some more people and generally enjoy having a bit of fun. Hi guys, it's Jess and Chris here, and today we're just going to have a very quick chat about the National Running Show. So in the middle of January, we went and we attended the National Running Show up in Birmingham. This is its 3rd year. The first 2 I went to on my own, and this is the first year that Chris has been. So for me, I was very much a returning participant. For Chris, it was being thrown into the world of the running show. Yeah, it was a lot bigger than last year. There was a lot more stands there and a lot going on, and lots of really good speakers as well. So I think I'm going to come to you first, Chris, and see what your point of view and how you thought it went, especially as you were brand new to it all.
Well, firstly, I really liked the variety of stands, speakers, and shops that were available there. It's the same place that holds the National Cycling Show, the NEC Cycle Show every year. And after sort of spending 2 days at the running show this year, I've always only ever done 1 day at the cycle show, and despite it being bikes and my thing, it does get a bit boring. It's all the different brands of cycle manufacturers, and then clothing and nutrition, and that is literally the extent of it. I will say, I thought perhaps for people who aren't into running, the speakers were a little weak. It did have a lot of adventure runners, and I know that's something they brought in this year was ultra running.
Yeah, that was very new for this year actually.
So there's not that sort of star draw for people who are sort of from outside of the sport. Where the cycle show, virtually all of the speakers are famous ex-professionals or current professionals, whereas a lot of these people I hadn't heard of. I think I'd heard of 2 or 3 of the runners, and that was only from the Olympics. And I think, not saying that at all that the running show needed to draw more people in. It was 2 halls of the NEC packed both days, even though Sunday was apparently a bit quieter. And I think actually the ultra section of the expo was perhaps the most popular.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. So they announced at the end of last year's show that this year they were going to bring in an ultra runners stage and area where you had lots of various different talks from people like John Kelly, who has run the Barclay Marathons, Lazarus Lake, the person who set it up, Dean Canazes, I think I pronounced that right, I'm not sure. Again, another big ultra runner name. And I think when they made the decision to bring in that aspect of the ultra running, they hadn't quite anticipated just how many people it was going to bring in, which was, very noticeable by the size of the stage and the sheer volume of people. I wanted to go and watch one of the talks by Lazarus Lake, and actually it was really difficult to get in, which is really good because then it meant that there was a lot of popularity. It also then meant that maybe people who were running a bit later or didn't attend the show as early possibly missed out on a few of those bits. But they have said that they are going to make the ultra running zones bigger next year, which I'm really excited about. They've got a couple of guests re-returning, which will be really nice.
Yeah, I think they really did underestimate the ultra zone. And I think the main reason of that is, despite me going on about the star attraction and drawing power of professional athletes, that ultra running and adventure running is far more relatable for a lot of the attendees there, because it is like sit down for story time. rather than a sports documentary with these ultra athletes and these endurance runners. And they sort of are heading off. If you know, like they're on a feature film, they're on a quest. It's ultra running is Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit to, you know, maybe professional sports documentaries, you know. So I think they've already said that they're going to address that for next year. So I think, you know, it's nice to know that they are learning from these events and trying to make it better each year.
Yeah, and I mean, it's still very early on in the lifetime of it. I mean, how long has the cycle show been going for?
I've been attending since 2011. So I mean, I don't think that was the first time it was there.
So things before. Like the cycle show and maybe even things like the triathlon show or any other events like this may already have quite a few years under their belt and know kind of the ebb and flow of it all and what to expect, whereas a running show is literally 3 years in. This year the running show is holding another one down in London, which I have got one of the free tickets for, so I'm possibly going to go and check out. Just because it has got some different things going on, which has taken me a bit by surprise, but I'm quite excited for them. So yeah, it's still very much, I mean, it's 3 years in, but it's still very much in its early phases, so it's still got a lot to learn. I mean, I always love the running show. It's a great excuse to go and meet some like-minded crazy runners, get chatting to people, go and see a few familiar friendly faces. And this year for me, I really enjoyed it because there were quite a few people, obviously you guys out there who follow us. You were there, so it was nice to bump into you and say hello and just have a good old chit chat. But it was really good to see that there was a lot more stands there where you could buy things. The last couple of years there's been maybe a handful of stands, but this year there was definitely a lot more where you could buy clothing, a lot more where you could buy shoes. There's generally always a decent amount of things like nutrition, but the last couple of years was more races and events and things, whereas this one was a lot more come and buy this stuff and come and try it out, which, you know, was really good. And I always have the usual stands that I walk past and stare at the objects and pine for them because you can't spend that much on a sports watch. Maybe one day, maybe one day. But yeah, I really enjoyed the fact that there was a lot more stands there. Absolutely loved the ultra running zone. Really enjoyed that Spartan was there with some obstacles that I could just play about on and mess about on. You know, it was, like I say, it was good to see some of those familiar faces that I've bumped into before. Overall, I really enjoyed the running show. As I say, I always enjoy it anyway, but this year it was good to go along and just get chatting to a lot more people and a lot more different brands, and even see some of the smaller startup ones still, which is really nice.
Yeah, I think because it was free, I think I'd probably be tempted to go back next year as well. Who knows, I might be running a little bit more. God forbid. But
now, maybe if you do a bit more running, you can take up some of the running on the triathlons and give me a bit of a break. But yeah, I mean, those were just kind of some of our really short thoughts on the National Running Show. If you went and attended it, do you have any thoughts or comments? If so, please do pop them below. Maybe you haven't been to it, but you would like to go and give it a go. If so, it is the 30th and 31st next year, I believe. Don't quote me on that. I will let you know in the title or the description of this video.
It's right there.
Yeah, and maybe if you have been, are you looking forward to going to the London one, or are you possibly going to go to the London one? But for now, we will leave you for that. Do feel free to drop us a comment or a message just to say hi. You can hit the subscribe button to come and check out more videos, and if you press the bell, you will be notified of all the videos coming up. But yeah, come and check out some of the other rubbish videos.